All right, Senator Cleare, thank you for joining us on Picks on Politics. It's good to see you. And let's start with the reproductive protections just passed in the state Senate. You sponsored one of them, which establishes a grant program to expand reproductive health care in the state and support those in New York and those traveling here for services. So why was this such an important issue for you?
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today to talk about these two very important issues, the Grieving Families Act and the Reproductive Freedom and Equity Grant Program, which passed in the Senate on Tuesday. The Reproductive Freedom and Equity Grant Program is part of a New York State's response to the Dobbs decision. And the bill creates a permanent program to support women and healthcare providers with three target objectives. One, capacity building to meet the increased needs of patients, also funding to support patients who have uncompensated care, and providing practical support to patients so they can access care. The bill does build on an investment of $35 million made by the legislature and the governor last year and ensures permanent reoccurring support for women of reproductive age in New York State, 352,000 of which live in a county that has no women's reproductive health care providers, as well.
Yeah, and Senator, I do also want to ask, this bill, along with the others in terms of reproductive health, they're now moving on to the state assembly. So what do you expect to happen there? Do you anticipate all of these bills to eventually go to the governor's desk for her signature?
I think that I expect them to go to her desk. My bill is currently, the sponsor in the assembly is Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, and she's fighting, and there are women and others in the assembly who are fighting to make sure that we continue to be able to protect women in New York, as well as those who will be inevitably traveling to New York to seek reproductive health care due to the 18 states that have now cruelly banned abortion.
And on the Equal Rights Amendment, that also passed in the Assembly and the Senate. Now the measure is sent right to New York voters, but they won't get a chance to vote on it until 2024. So why so far from now?
Well, I believe that the law requires us to get it done. We want to be prepared and ready for when the opportunity comes for New Yorkers to vote on it. These are very important protections, and people are suffering without them, suffering without the knowledge of knowing, or the security of knowing that this will be the law. So we need to make sure that these are permanent changes, that these are changes that are made so that everyone can be protected in our state.
So New York State voters, they'll go and they'll vote. Do you anticipate there being campaigns both for and maybe even against the passage of these, updates to the Equal Rights Amendment?
Yeah, there could be campaigns against, but I think New Yorkers are very smart people. We know New York has been progressive. We've been in the front of these issues, and I think that voters are going to be educated, and they're going to do the right thing. And this time allows us to do even more education to make sure that everyone understands that we absolutely need to do this to protect our rights.
And Senator Cleare, I want to talk about another passion project of yours that's deeply personal. That's the Grieving Families Act. The bill brings changes to how families are compensated in a wrongful death case. So first, can you share why this is so important for you?
Well, in addition to it affecting me personally, because I have had a loss in my family of someone whose death was wrongful, and in our view, there are so many other people who are out here suffering, and it is urgent that we focus on this right now, because the Grieving Families Act, which passed in both the Assembly and Senate last year, is still waiting on the governor's desk to be signed. It went past the normal December 31st deadline and has a deadline of January 30th, which is only a few days away. And we want to encourage our governor to sign the bill as is, without any changes to it. This bill, which is law in 49 other states, recognizes the true worth of individuals and families who suffer from the tragedy of wrongful death, such as medical malpractice and on-the-job fatality or other acts of negligence. And the current statute was written in 1847, pre-Civil War, and has the effect of doubly devaluing the lives, particularly of Black people and women, among others, by allowing damages and wrongful death to be based on upon salary only and no other factors. That means if your grandmother, a college student, a housewife, for example, are a victim of negligence, the surviving family can only collect lost wages. But if that grandmother is the matriarch of the family and the glue holding everyone together, or that housewife, that mother is a caregiver and nurturer, that student who's a year away from getting a job is the hope and dreams and pride of his family, does that person have value? Of course.
Yeah.
The current law is cruel and inhumane.
Yep, Senator
Sure.
Cleare is such an important issue. We're certainly going to be watching to see if this legislation gets the governor's signature. Thank you so much for joining us and coming on Picks on Politics.
Thank you.
Good to have you.